Did you say we are ready to go? Okay, thank you. So with that, we'll call our meeting to order. And the first order of business is to consider the agenda for the evening. Are there any additions, corrections, deletions? And I believe Sarah did send out one additional item. So other than the one that Sarah sent out, is there any more? Looking like none, we'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as amended. With that one item.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, we have motion support. All those in favor will be a thumbs up and a yay. And opposed will be a thumbs down and a nay, of course. Looks like that item is carried. So next item is roll call. Sarah, if you would, please.
Thank you. Mayor Mapes?
Present in Elma, Michigan.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Harrington?
Present in Alma, Michigan.
Commissioner Allman?
Present in Alma, Michigan.
Commissioner Piccolo?
Present in Storm Lake, Iowa.
Commissioner Pitts?
Present, Alma, Michigan.
Commissioner Stahl?
Present in Alma, Michigan.
And Commissioner Warnick?
Present in Alma, Michigan.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. I was on mute. We do have a quorum. And so next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Aaron, do you have a flag you're going to put up for us? And if everyone please rise and join me in the recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excuse me. Okay, thank you, Aaron. We'll next entertain motion to approve the minutes of the April 13, 2021 regular meeting and the April 20, 2021 special meeting.
Move approval.
Support.
We have a motion of support. Are there any comments, questions, additions, or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. So all those in favor, once again, a thumbs up and a yay.
Aye.
Those opposed would be thumbs down and a nay. Looks like the motion is passed. Thank you very much. Moving down to hearings. First up, we have a public hearing to consider the final special assessment district rule number 4 for 2018 for the construction of sanitary sewer leads on Hannah Avenue. So with that, we'll open the hearing.
Move to open the hearing.
Support.
A motion support. All those in favor, be a thumbs up and yay. Opposed would be a thumbs down and a nay. Looks like the hearing is open. So, Dave, are you doing this one?
Yep. Thank you. We've got 2 SAD hearings to close out tonight. Before I get going too much, I want to first of all apologize to any residents that are here that are trying to understand what's going on. And some of these are delayed because I was trying to hold out until maybe the COVID thing, if it would settle down and we had open meetings and public meetings. So in-person meetings would be the better term. So it's gone on long and we need to close these out. So I'll try to go as slow as I can. Anybody interject if you have questions or concerns or anything before I move ahead. I'll just do my screen share here. Okay. The first one is the construction of sanitary sewer leads on Hayes Avenue. Scroll through here just to show you where we're at. This happened this last year. We replaced the sanitary sewer.
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
Dave, this is Tony. You know, we are technically right now in the public hearing on Hannah. So I don't know if you want to do Hannah now.
Okay, I can do that. I can skip ahead. Okay, I'll skip ahead to Hannah. Thank you. Sorry for that, Tony.
No problem.
I could go backwards. All right.
Well, let's come
Sorry,
back to
okay,
this.
so
This is gonna be a separate hearing.
Yes, we're gonna move along here. Sorry about that. So this is Hannah Avenue. This actually happened 2 calendar years ago, but due to the COVID things and stuff like that, and trying to have the meeting, but that's why we're here and it's delayed. So this is where we're at. This is Hannah Avenue between Ferris and Michigan Avenue, and this was the portion of sanitary sewer main that was replaced, along with the sanitary sewer laterals that were along with that project. And if you remember my discussion 2 weeks ago, and I'll refresh anybody who's new or any residents that are part of this meeting. Back 2 years ago, before this was done, we would have established an SAD district, special assessment district. And what this would be is to have the city share in the cost of sanitary sewer lateral replacements from the sanitary main to just outside of the curb line. For 2 reasons. In case that sanitary sewer lateral collapses, we don't have to tear up a new road to replace it. Number 2 is it helps to greatly reduce the amount of clear water that enters the sanitary sewer system. Those are the 2 reasons. And because of the importance of that, as in past practices, the city of Alma shares in the cost 50% with the homeowner. If the lateral was Schedule 40 plastic, the homeowner is charged nothing. If it's anything other than Schedule 40, it's replaced, and we charge for the amount of lineal feet that were replaced to get it just outside of the curb line or until we get a suitable joint to connect to. What this is these are the final costs, and I'm going to skip ahead to show you just the estimates. This is what was sent out, and what we did was planned each particular residence for 1 Y, 1 clean out, and then approximately 25 feet of sanitary sewer lateral replacements. So you can see the total cost we estimated to be $1,800. The city sharing in at $900 that, the property owner being charged $900 on their side. And let's go back. And this is what our final amount was. You can see where there's a number 0 on there. That means they had Schedule 40 plastic, and we literally just connected a couple feet of pipe to get it to the new main. Others, if there's a larger number, it's because we had to go outside of that's the amount of length that it took to get us outside of the curb line and to get us to a suitable joint. If we find cracks or any collapses in the pipe in their lateral, we'll keep going until we can find a suitable connection to it, just because we don't want to leave any potential problems in the ground. So that explains some of the footage differences. You'll notice 620 Hannah Avenue towards the bottom 2/3 is 40 feet. That property owner requested us to go up to just past the sidewalk, but still within the right of way because they were concerned about the condition of the lateral. So we told them we could do that. They would just have an extra cost involved with that. So that would explain the differences. And looking at the costs, it looks like most everybody came in underneath of that $900 that we initially estimated. So that's a good thing, at least for us and hopefully for them. But you'll notice 620 is a little higher than what we estimated, but the homeowner requested us to do additional footages. And if there's any questions, I'll open it up to that, commissioners or public, anyone.
Dave, a question that comes to my mind, because we went some additional feet with the particular address there, that 40-foot one. If he would have requested that we go all the way to the house, would we have participated in that as well?
No, we cannot do that. Not outside of the right-of-way line. I cannot spend public funds on private property.
So the final stopping point is at the.
For that
Right
one
away.
was their side of the sidewalk is where we stopped it.
That is the city-owned demarcation point.
Correct.
Is that
That's
correct?
still within the right of way right there. If I go any further than that, then I run the risk of being private property, and that we won't do. That's between them and a contractor.
All of the rest of them then went past the edge of the road. So
Yes.
if there is a problem further up, say between the sidewalk and the curb, that's where the digging will be.
Correct. And then they're out of the road and they're out of the influence of the road. So to reduce the likelihood of undermining the city street, making a sinkhole, a collapse, or any kind of fracturing of the road surface, we get them out of sight of that road, the road surface influence.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody else have questions on this? Okay, hearing no questions from the staff, is there anyone from the public that has any questions or comments on this? And Aaron, can you confirm that there are or are not any members of the public wishing to speak?
Mr. Rodriguez is with us tonight, but I believe he lives on Hayes Avenue, so he'd be
Yes.
making a comment during the Hayes presentation.
Correct.
With no further comments or questions on this one, we'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Support. Sarah, did you get that?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
You got it? Okay. Okay, thank you. So we have motion support. All those in favor will be a thumbs up and a yay.
Can you see us?
I cannot.
I
Dave, can you?
don't know if Sarah can or not.
I
Can you
apologize.
stop
I'll
your-
stop the screen share. Sorry about that.
That's
Thank
okay.
you. And one more
Let's
time.
try
if
that
you-
one more
okay.
time.
Yay.
All those in
Yay.
favor?
Yay.
Be a thumbs up and a yay. And anyone opposed would be a thumbs down and an A. I believe it is passed. Or you concur, Sarah?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So next up, we entertain a motion to adopt a resolution ratifying the Special Assessment District Rule Number 4 of 2018, establishing a payment schedule and setting an interest rate.
Move approval.
Support.
Support. I did just have a notion or a message pop up that my internet connection is unstable. So if everybody can't hear me, please wave or do something to catch my attention. I'll repeat myself. So any comments or questions before we vote?
For the record,
I see none, therefore.
can you hear me, Mayor? The interest rate is typically set
You
at
were
one.
in and out.
There, yeah.
Anybody else? Everybody having trouble hearing me?
I
No.
you.
I hear you fine.
Okay. The interest rate is typically set at 1% over the 5-year bond rate, the 5-year treasury bond rate. So that puts us at 1.85% for today. Just so everyone knows that's the interest rate we're looking at for today. That was it. Thank you.
I can't hear you, Greg.
Yeah, everyone. What's that?
We couldn't hear you.
1.85%. Okay, so everyone in favor, a thumbs up and a yay?
Yay.
And those opposed, be a thumbs down and an A? Looks like we passed. Next, we'll hold a public hearing to review a special assessment district rule number 1 of 2019 for the construction of sanitary sewer leads on Hayes Avenue. A motion to open?
So moved.
Support.
We have motion support. All those in favor, be a thumbs up and a yay.
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 And opposed, be thumbs down and an A. Okay, we have a hearing. David, did you want to give us the background on this one now, please?
Yep. I'm going to go, there we are. Now this is where we started at originally. Okay, this is for the final closeout for the Special Assessment District for Hayes Avenue. Same discussion before. This is the portion of sanitary sewer that was replaced on Hayes. We replaced the main, and then we replaced approximately 5 feet behind the curb line on this street to get out of the road influence and to stay out from underneath of that road surface. And same thing, if they had anything other than Schedule 40 plastic, we replaced it to within that 5 foot after the curb line or till we found a suitable connection point or a joint to connect to. Okay, here are the final SAD numbers. And what I'll do is I'll scroll right here to this was the estimate that was sent out. We estimated $900 each for these.
You're on Hannah.
Hannah
not
Avenue.
Hayes.
Sorry, Hannah. We need to go back to, oh boy. I apologize for all this. I'm going to go back. Make sure I can get along the right one. This is Hayes. Okay. Here are the final numbers. And what I'm going to do is go to the estimated amount. We estimated 18 lineal feet for each house, with the exception of the two along Marquette. Those sanitary laterals, because that main does not go all the way to the south end of Marquette, those laterals run quite lengthy within the right of way. So that explains the longer length of those ones. Going back now, this is the final numbers. You'll notice that some of these are 0. Some of these have different numbers on them. The 0 indicates that they had Schedule 40 plastic, and we just replaced 2 foot, 1 foot, whatever it was, to get to our main. And then the others are as measured from the main to the existing connection point that we found suitable for the connection to the existing laterals. And going back to the next slide, we estimated each, other than the two longer ones, those are around $1,700 for the 40 foot and the 45, and the others were just under $900 for each for the estimates. And for the most part, we were still around that 900. A few of them were slightly less. Some of them were slightly more than that 900 at their cost. So we were still within range of the estimations. And at that point, I'll open it up for any questions or comments.
Okay. Does anyone have questions? Seems like no one from the commission does. I believe we did have a member of the public. Mr. Rodriguez, did you want to address the commission? And Aaron, do you
You're
need to
on
let
mute.
him in?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I did some measuring. I don't know. They said there was 21 feet from the line that I have to pay. I figured about 19 and a half, 20, but I don't know from the trap, but anyhow, when I was talking to Christine and Sarah, they were saying something that we can make arrangements for payments, because as of right now, due to the pandemic and the last order from the CDC is that we can't go back to work or until May 24th is what they're saying now. And as of right now, money's kind of tight right now. So it's like, I didn't know if there was a special arrangement. Did they take it right out of the taxes, or is it a separate payment scheduling? I don't know how that works. So that's why I'm here.
Sarah, did you want to pick up on that, or do you want me
Mr.
to answer?
Rodriguez, there is an arrangement you can make.
Actually, the way it's set up, it is going to be broken down into 5 different installments. So the first installment is due by December 1st, or you can pay the entire portion without any interest by December 1st. If payment's not made, then it will be automatically added to your tax bill in July of 2022. And then the next installment will be added to your tax bill in July of 2023, and so on. So it will be broken down into 5 different payments. The first one is due December 1st.
Okay.
And if that one's not paid by December 1st, that goes on the July 1st, 2022 tax bill.
Okay. So it's a separate payment other than the tax bill, because, through the mortgage company, they automatically pay. Well, I pay them and they pay, you know how that works, but I didn't know if there was a separate way of payment. And is there an auto pay or
It is automatically added to your tax bill, so it will become part of your tax bill. That might be something you want to talk to your mortgage company about.
okay.
But if you wanted to pay the entire thing before December 1st, then we wouldn't add it to your tax bill, and
Okay.
there wouldn't be any interest charged on it.
So if we did a payment thing they would automatically, now the entire bill will automatically go to the tax, like my summer tax, and then it would, or is a portion of that?
It's going to be split into 5 installments. So the first installment, the first payment, it'll be split into 5. So the first one will go on your tax bill in 2022, and the next installment will go on the tax bill in 2023, and so on, until the 5 are paid off.
Okay, so the 972.25 is divided by 5. Then is that how you're calculating it then?
Yes, yep, correct. And then interest at 1.85% if it's not paid after December 1st.
Okay. Well, with this crazy pandemic going on, if it gets better, I mean, could I come in and just pay more onto it? And then
I believe you can.
Yes. And Mr. Rodriguez, this is Tony.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
I'm good. If
Gonzo.
the reason you want to talk to your mortgage company is because you need to have enough in your escrow account to pay those taxes. So if you're going to get a little bump, you might want to just check with the mortgage company, and they may want you to pay a little bit extra into that escrow fund. So it'd be a good idea to just check with them.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Because
okay.
you're going to have an extra, like, you however much that is every year, that's going to bump up your taxes by that amount.
Yeah, I'm figuring it's about 194, 195. So I'm rounding it off an average about $200.
Yeah. So
As
they might increase your monthly escrow payment a little bit, but you check with them.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to double check, see how that, if I go through you or I go through the mortgage company, and I didn't know, I don't know when I'm going back to work, because it's like I had scheduled contracts and they all been canceled and postponed for April to May. And now I'm looking at my June weddings are now in jeopardy as to being canceled because of the venues and because of the pandemic and stuff like that. The social distance, it's just one mess after another. And I'm just like, I'm in a holding pattern and I'm running out of gas at the same time. So
We get it.
Cool. So hopefully this 5-year plan will help you out.
yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And one more question. If it did go, what was the interest? 1 point what?
1.85%.
1.85. Okay. Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate your attendance tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you, Jose.
Yeah, good to see you, Tony.
This is again a public hearing, so is there anyone else that would like to speak? And Aaron, I presume there is no one else at this point.
At this point, sir, I think we're good.
Very good, thank you. So with that, we'll entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
David, can you stop the screen share before we
Yep.
move on?
I was just
Thank
waiting until
you.
it was officially closed. Thank you.
Move to close.
Support.
Okay, so we have motion and support. All those in favor would be a thumbs up and a yay.
Aye.
Yay.
Opposed, the opposite, thumbs down and an A. The hearing is closed. Next order of business is to adopt a resolution ratifying the Special Assessment District Rule Number 1 of 2019, which establishes a payment schedule and setting the interest rate for the aforementioned Hayes Avenue project. And again, the interest rate would be 1.85%, if I understand correctly, Sarah?
Correct.
So that would be the motion that we'd be looking for at this point.
So moved.
Support.
Support, comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor would be a thumbs up and a yay.
Yay.
Opposed is a thumbs down and an A. The motion is passed. Thank you very much. And moving on to item number 3, we need to set a public hearing for Tuesday, May 25th at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the agenda will allow, to consider the final 2018 Special Assessment District Rule Number 2 for the construction of sidewalks on Pleasant Avenue. Your pleasure to set the hearing.
Move to set the hearing.
Support.
Support.
Okay, we had a motion and support. Any comments or questions? Dave, did you want to give any background, or is this, I mean, this is pretty standard stuff, so.
Correct. That will be a similar meeting with what we just had. And what this will be is to close out the close out the SAD for the sidewalks that were constructed on Pleasant Avenue. So it'll be very similar to what we just went through, only with sidewalks.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Again, any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor, be a yay and a thumbs up.
Yay.
Any opposed, be a nay and a thumbs down. That motion is passed. Item number 4, we need to set a public hearing for Tuesday, May 25th, 2021 at 6:05 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the agenda will allow, to consider the final 2018 Special Assessment District Roll Number 3 for the construction of sanitary sewer leads on Pleasant Avenue.
Move to set the public hearing.
Support.
Motion support. Any comments or questions on that? Looks like we're catching up on some old business here, so that's good news. All those in favor, a thumbs up and a yay.
Aye.
Yay.
Opposed would be thumbs down and a nay. The motion is carried. We'll move down to request for purchase. We have 1, consideration of a resolution to approve a request for purchase to Truck and Trailer Specialties Incorporated in the amount of $86,668 using the My Deal pricing for an underbody scraper with a wing, dump body, and plow for the new Public Works underbody blade truck.
Move approval.
Support.
Motion support. Any comments, Dave?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, the commission thankfully approved the replacement for the truck. This is to put the accessories on that truck to make it a plow truck. So it'll be usable, and with the idea that we'll get this stuff ordered, that it'll be in an early fall so we can get it ready for the upcoming season. As much as people want to talk about snow, but hopefully we don't get any in the next few days. Well, I didn't yesterday, so it looks like it's warming up, but this is to put everything on it to make it a functional plow truck.
This is just the tools. Okay. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, thumbs up and a yay.
Yay.
Opposed, be thumbs down or nay. And that motion is carried. Wow, making time now. Consideration of a resolution of a performance resolution required by the Michigan Department of Transportation authorizing the annual application and permit for miscellaneous operations within the state highway right-of-way, which will include the street closures and banner placements in conjunction with the 2021 special community events use of state highway and right-of-way.
So moved. So moved.
Support.
Okay, we had a motion and support. Any background on this, Matt or Eric?
This is the annual. I'd just like to thank Eric. This year, a lot different of having to reach out to folks and try and figure out, still keep your dates, still keep your things that are essential for those road closures. And I know we had to find some parades and stuff that we didn't have last year that hopefully will happen this year, but we need to make sure that they're still in there for the future. Anything else there?
Yep. We still don't have a date from the Alma Public Schools yet. As soon as we get that, we'll have to come back and ask for your permission and then send that into the state.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Those in favor would be a thumbs up and a yay.
Yay.
Those opposed would be thumbs down and a nay. Motion is carried. Thank you. And number 2, consideration of a resolution to approve the temporary closure of the 300 to 400 block of Woodworth Avenue on May 28th, 2021 from 3 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. for the Highland Festival Experience activities. Probably we're not going to let it go until 12. We're going to shut them down at 11:59. Your
Move to
pleasure.
approve.
Support.
Support. Okay, we have a motion support. Any comments, questions? I think
This is similar to what we did back in February. Highland Festival is planning on putting a stage in that intersection, so we'd be open to the same thing. Would it be the same provisions as far as the alcohol would have to be capped and taken to a spot? This isn't asking for anything different than that, than in that closure within the 300 and 400 block of Woodworth.
They are planning on different weather though.
Probably better than, yeah, the snow and the freezing cold.
February. Yes.
Would be nice.
Okay, any additional comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor would be a thumbs up and a yay.
Yay.
And any opposed would be a thumbs down and a nay. The motion is carried. Thank you. Now, consideration of a resolution to approve and support the Lucky McDuck Day program to be held on Saturday, September 11, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it doesn't say where. So we'll entertain a motion first.
So moved.
Support.
Have a motion and support. Does anybody know where this is going to be?
Yep, under whereas the bullet points there, the use of Highland Park and surrounding grounds south of the Alma Public Library. And then underneath that is to hang the Lucky McDuck banner from the 16th to the 12th of this year. And then permission to locate some sandwich board directional signage around and on and in around the Riverwalk. And for us to provide some extra picnic tables and trash receptacles for the day of the event. And in the past, working with the library, they sometimes use some water if they have a dunk tank and electricity from the library for the activities.
We are basically planning on doing the same things for Lucky McDuck Day this year that we have done for the past however many 11 years, I guess. We're hoping everything goes well and that we don't have to cancel anything at the last moment, but we have applied for the gaming license and we have started to talk to people about prizes and entertainment and stuff. So we're just hoping it all comes off just as it has in the past.
Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor would be a thumbs up and a yay.
Yay.
Any opposed would be thumbs down and a nay. And that motion is carried as well. Thank you. Moving to number 4, consideration of a resolution declaring noxious weeds a public hazard and a nuisance pursuant to sections 22-62 and 22-63 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Alma, and that all affected property owners be notified to abate such nuisances. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Does anybody have questions or comments or background? This is, again,
Basically, we give
boilerplate
them-
stuff, I think, for us.
This is the first notice. This is basically the first notice, and within the resolution, it gives them until May 21st. And then at that point in time, we'd be able to enforce.
And we start mowing, right?
Correct.
Okay, any additional comments or questions? All those in favor, again, thumbs up and a yay.
Aye.
Yay.
Any opposed would be thumbs down and a nay. That motion is carried as well. Next is consideration of a resolution approving the discharge of mortgage for the Housing Rehabilitation Program Deferred Payment Loan Agreement between the City of Alma and Christine Corrigan of 731 Woodworth Avenue. This loan was paid off January 18th, 2007, but never discharged.
Move approval.
That's one way to keep her from moving.
Support.
Motion and support. Any comments or questions? I assume this was just an oversight.
Yeah, Greg, we just we got a call from the title company. Obviously, they're going through a sale, and this came up in the title search. And obviously, a discharge was never recorded, so that means one never happened. So that's what's in front of you tonight, so they can continue on with their sale.
Any other comments or questions? None. Again, those in favor, thumbs up and a yay.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed would be thumbs down and a nay. Okay, and it is passed. Thank you. H, ordinances. We have consideration of the introduction of ordinance number 819 to amend chapter 60 of the ordinances of the City of Alma, specifically Article 2, 60-36, which are the rules applying to texts and definition, ordinance number 820 to amend Article 8 section 6209, excuse me, subsection 2, designs and standards for off-street parking. And that is a mouthful. Your pleasure.
So moved.
Support.
We have motion and support. Dave, is this you?
Nope, actually, Greg, this would be myself and Aaron Hale, my code enforcement. This is a modification detailing in better detail of what a drive pad is consisted of, what it's made of, and the location of that drive pad for parking, not just vehicles, but any accessory vehicles, meaning if you have a boat, an RV, those sort of things. This sets some extra standards and some new guidelines of what we're asking for the type of surface to be put down for a parking pad.
Questions or comments? We talked about this extensively at Planning Commission.
I can't.
Assume along with this, Eric.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. It cut out. I'm sorry. That's why I took my video off. I was
sorry.
cutting it out too. So, what was the question, Greg?
I was going to say, assuming along with this, we're going to do some education of our public.
Yes. Yep. Once this is approved, we'll put on Facebook, our website, and I'm sure we can probably work out a way to get it in the water bills, to get it out to as many people as possible. Then, as we come across places that don't meet the new, the standard, to let them know what the standards are and work with them to come into compliance.
Eric, it was pretty detailed. I just want to clarify the only change that we're making tonight from previous is the materials for the drive pad. Is that correct? Or
Materials for drive pad and the location of where that pad can be. Yes.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is keep the drive pads and driveways out of the front yard setback, meaning the front portion of the home, so we don't have people just parking cars in front of their house by just putting down some pads and such. So this is a way to help better organize where these vehicles, and then in the side and rear yards where the RVs and accessory vehicles can go.
Right. And then I'm sure with more description, it's easier to enforce. So that's great. Thank you.
Well, it makes it helpful to explain to them what we're looking for too.
Correct. Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
Any additional comments or questions? That will move to a vote. All those in favor will be a thumbs up and a yay.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'm frozen, I think.
I think he's,
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
we
you.
can hear you, Greg.
Okay, I was looking for a vote. I didn't see any. Everybody kind of froze on me. So all those in favor be thumbs up and a yay.
Yay.
Your video's back now too, Greg. Well, no, like you froze again.
Okay, I'm not seeing anybody else. Everybody else seems to be frozen as well. So I definitely got a bad connection tonight.
We have a yes vote. Do you want to call for a no
It was-
vote, Greg?
Okay, all those in favor will be a thumbs down and a nay. And Sarah, you're confident we have a motion that's passed?
Yes, we didn't have any no votes. So the motion is passed.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I apologize for my connection tonight. I'll see if Charter can get me a better one next time. Okay, this next up would be agreements. Consideration of a resolution to approve a change order for the police department renovation project with Conwisky Construction Incorporated to include additional changes for a storage room, increasing the total project cost by $2,749.68. Your pleasure therein.
Move approval or support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor would be a thumbs up and a yay.
Yay.
And any opposed would be thumbs down and a nay. I'm still seeing some frozen pictures, Sarah, so I'll depend on you to tell me we did get a positive vote.
Yes, we did. The motion carried. Yes, thank you.
Very good, thank you. Okay, we'll move down to reports. The commission may receive the following reports by one resolution, or any commissioner may remove any item within the section for individual discussion and vote. Seeing as how there's only one, we'll entertain a motion for the city manager's report to be received.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any comments or questions? Matt, do you want to just give us your report?
Yeah, I'll give you I've got a couple. There was a lot of talk I heard after the last one, so I want to send out a reminder on the Alma Action Spring Fling golf outing. Again, the weather will be so much better than we've ever played in that golf outing, so nice to see a lot of folks out there. Rescue plan, there's still the only update that came is that to make sure that your DUNS and all of your SAMS numbers and everything were confirmed and that you are in compliance. I've confirmed all of that we are ready for those. I'm anticipating that those measures and those guidelines will be out by the end of this week. And that's really going to dictate what the amount is and then what we are eligible to spend that on. So I think we're planning on meeting May 5th in a work session. And at that point in time, we will go through capitals and then start to prioritize these things through the American Rescue Plan first. Infrastructure plan is still down the road, but then we can prioritize. And my hope is the guidelines will be out by Friday, and then I'll have them in your hands by Monday as to what those guidelines are, so we know where they're going from there. Really, the other is just what we've already done with the Highland Festival experience and some pictures of the police department. As someone who spent the better part of their career there, it is strange to see when you have something that needs so much work to be redone, but then when they do rip it apart, you kind of go, wow, that's a little telling to you all of a sudden, because that's the past that's now gone from there. But it's nice to see that work continuing and then moving on forward. And the other thing I wanted to make sure to discuss with you tonight is the start with the finance department and the rebuild there. And what we've been working on and what we'll bring to the meeting on the 5th is that discussion of the interim position with Mr. Dancer there right now has made some pretty big strides in just a few weeks. And this is really a rebuild, not a retool. There's just a reality of a hire that has really come back to hurt. And it really talks to the lack of depth in the department. And so would like to see that we put a time frame on that interim position, and I'll bring this to you on the 5th, but looking at a time frame of allowing that person to work in that to try and actually develop all of those positions that I've spoke about in the past that need to be there, of the real change in the professionalism within the department and who is in charge of what, creating a mentorship program with some other area finance directors that are willing to step in to help and work with us from there. And then really look at some management and leadership training as we go forward and develop the department. Waiting also on confirmation back from the state of Michigan on some things with policies and procedures, so that we do know what we have in those places. I know there was talk that we need to look at seeing about some internal looks to have somebody come in. I think that's a good idea for us to come in and see, first of all, hopefully we get some confirmation from the state. Are these policies and procedures, are they actually what we need, and are they good enough that we have to have? Create those checks and balances to get them the daily, monthly, quarterly check sheets that are done, and to have somebody come in. I would like to then present to you that what we will put on is a dashboard from an internal dashboard that talks about our personal assessment and transition and where are we as we go through this. That policy and procedure assessment, which has already started, but then where are we with building the checklist and all the things that are necessary? Where are we from on a monthly basis is what I'd be looking to do these are. And where are we with the departmental training to make sure that the staff is ready to do those things and has the ability to actually function in a finance department in today's by today's standards. And then start to look at those quality quarterly measurables. Are we meeting the expectations of bringing in? I don't know who that is at this point. We'll have to discuss that to see who that is to come in and on a quarterly basis look to ensure that we are tracking towards getting everything done in that timely manner that has to be there, and then it actually is set. And so I will bring this to you all. We'll do this all on the 5th, and we'll go through that as a work session to make sure that it's meeting standards and that we're actually setting ourselves up for success as opposed to where we've been.
Good, thank you, Matt. Sounds like you've got a good handle on what's going on here. So, are there comments or questions for Matt? Okay, hearing none at this point. All those in favor of receiving the report would be a thumbs up and a yay.
Yay.
Any opposed would be a thumbs down and a nay. Looks like that motion is passed. Now we'll move down to unfinished business, which was the added agenda item, which would be discussion of voluntarily extending paid sick leave time under the Families First Coronavirus Act until June 30, 2021, as provided for in the December 27, 2020 stimulus bill and January 12, 2021 and March 23, 2021 resolutions of the City of Elma. Okay,
Do you need a motion, Greg?
It's discussion, so I don't believe we do, unless somebody wants to make a motion to take some action. We've extended this, I believe, until the end of April. So the only probably motion that we may entertain, if any, would be to further extend the provisions. Matt, did you want to give any background?
Well, and ironically, Audra, thank you for the extension last month, because as I told you that night, we had actually been in a pretty good position within the city. And I don't think we jinxed ourselves that night, but things changed drastically within the next few days. And literally since that time, we've had 8 positive cases come through the city. I'm happy to tell you that our 2 most serious cases have gone home and are doing much, much better. But it was a real trying couple weeks. So I know it's a lifeline for some folks right now, but the question comes really from the commission is how long do we keep going? But to be frank, we're at 80 hours for every employee, and there's been an awful lot of folks who've either been quarantined and had to use a portion of that. So none of that still changes. It's still that 80 hours, and anything over and above that 80 hours still comes back out of their own time. So again, I would have thought this would have been, actually, I think I said it, this would probably be our last month we'd have to be worrying about this, but I think that we're still, having to make some decisions going forward.
Well, and I think last time we talked about, if I recall correctly, we talked about, given the extension was primarily intended to give folks a chance to get a vaccine, because up until that point, many of our staff were not eligible to get a vaccine. But I think at this point, everybody is now eligible and probably has had ample opportunity to receive a vaccine. So I don't see a need to extend it. But other thoughts?
Well, my thought would be, I know that you're not eligible to get the vaccine when you're still recovering from COVID. So if they weren't able to get it prior to just recently being ill, they would have to wait a while to get the vaccine. So And again, it's money that we've already allocated. I feel like I would be comfortable with making a motion to extend it another month. And if we're just going month by month, because I mean, again, I think we all thought things would be much better than they are right now. So, yeah, I guess I would make that motion.
I would support that motion for different reasons. I think because even though they're eligible for the vaccine, if they're just getting them in these last couple of weeks, you still have to get your second one. And then you still have that 2-week window after the second one before you're actually like in the safe zone. Unless people did the one and done, but that's been, on hold for a little bit with the Johnson & Johnson. So, I mean, I'm kind of with Roxanne. I think one more month is the way to go, but it's just my opinion.
Yeah, we kind of talked last time about, doing it on a month-to-month basis. And I think at this point, it's not over yet. I think we need to do it at least this one more month.
My fear is that it's going to may discourage some folks from getting vaccine.
Matt, do you know what percentage of our employees have been vaccinated?
We have no idea within that.
I don't believe you can ask that, can you?
No.
I think you can aggregate the data. We don't need to know who specifically it is, but I think you can human resources, for example, people voluntarily tell them, can keep the names confidential, but can say 80% of our people are vaccinated or whatever. I think you could do that as long as people voluntarily would tell HR and we are not revealing names.
We could ask for that information voluntarily. We could ask for that.
Yeah. Greg, I would say too, like just from my experience, I think you are either for getting vaccinated or you're not. Right. And I don't think this is going to deter people. I think they've either made their mind up. I think this just buys those that want to get vaccinated that time to get first dose, 28 days later, second dose, and then that 2 weeks of you're in the safe zone. So, I mean, I've been hearing about companies that are paying people to get vaccinated. I mean, people either want it or they don't. I don't think there's going to be any incentive or deter, them one way or another, but I could be wrong, but I think that's just my
incentives are if you're vaccinated and you're exposed to somebody, you don't have to quarantine.
Right.
So that's the incentive. You don't have to go home or work from home or not be able to work. So that
is the incentive.
And people.
Okay, any other comments or questions? We do have a motion on the table, so with that, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor, be a thumbs up and a yay.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, be a thumbs down and a nay. And just for the record, I will vote yes on that, since my thumb went both ways. We'll give her one more month. I think that's it. So, Commissioner comments would be up next. Oh, appropriations. Let's pay the appropriations. Anyone in favor of paying the appropriations?
Move to pay the bills.
Support.
Pay the bills. Okay. Motion of support. Are there any questions on the appropriations and paying the bills? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor would be a thumbs up and a yay.
Aye.
Yay.
Any opposed? Be thumbs down and a nay. That motion is carried. So commissioner comments at this point then. Danny, would you like to go first, please?
Sure. The first thing is we had a local hockey team playing the state tournament this past weekend, and it's kind of made up of a lot of kids from Gratiot County. There was 4 Alma individuals on that team with Clara Lightke, Ethan Wernick, Graham Mogenberg, and then Maggie Lux. And they ended up finishing second in the state of Michigan. So it was a pretty fun weekend and pretty entertaining week for those Alma kids. I just want to say congratulations to them. And a lot of those individuals worked really hard, especially through this year, trying to practice and when they could and couldn't practice. But for them to come out this last weekend and like I said, they played in the state title game and lost 2-1. So it was a close one, but state runner-up was not bad.
Okay, thank you, Danny. Roxanne?
I don't have anything to add tonight. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Roxanne. Michelle?
Saturday, Keep Alma Beautiful, inviting everybody to come downtown and help clean up our town at 9 o'clock at the chamber office. Bring your gloves and rakes, shovels. And then also the following Saturday, May 8th, the new Alma Disc Golf is having a cleanup at the old airport on Willow Run off Bridge Street behind the transit department. They're asking for volunteers that day too. So, and then this Saturday, I was contacted by the Church of God, and they're bringing the volunteers water and snacks and stuff this Saturday. So we thank the First Church of God for doing that for our volunteers. That's it.
Thank you, Michelle. Audra?
I don't have a whole lot. I just am excited that we're getting back to having events downtown, and it sounds exciting to have some things opening back up with Lucky Mcduck and Highland Festival experience. So I'm looking forward to all of that. I did follow a little bit with the hockey team this last weekend. So I'm friends with Jen Lux on Facebook, and I got to see some updates. So that was really exciting and way to represent our community. So I think that's it.
Okay, fun. Thank you. Nick?
Well, I hate to follow these guys because they covered it. But like Audra, I'm excited to see things getting back to normal, and congratulations to the hockey team.
Okay. Roger?
Thank you. I'm real excited about the Highland experience coming up. I just think that's when they contacted me about doing that and asked me if I would MC the Queen's Pageant event. And even though it's only a half-hour event this year, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now all I need to do is see if my kilt still fits, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, we all are, Roger. Thank you. Sarah? Any comments from you?
No, not today. Nope. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Costanzo? Tony?
I'm all set. Thank you very much.
Okay. And Matt, any additional comments?
I'll just throw another date for you to put on your calendar, and that's July 24th. I know that Michelle, I don't know if you're at the meeting last night, KB, talking about the mural. That's really looking for a date. So we're going to try and do some other things planned around that also. And so we can have something else there on that day also.
Okay, thank you, Matt. For myself, yeah, congratulations to the hockey team. That's pretty cool. Have a local team like that go so far. That's great news. And it truly is, I'll echo what everybody else said, it's great to have things opening back up a little bit and seeing some activities taking place. That doesn't mean we can be going with wild abandon, but we'll all be safe and we'll distance and wear our masks and do what we need to do to keep things going forward. So with that, we'd like to open it up to the public. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the commission at this point? And Aaron, I will ask you to let us know if there are, or if you're seeing any.
Sure, I will check the list one last time, Greg, but I do not believe there are any members of the public that are connected to the meeting at this time. There are not, only staff.
Staff are eligible as members of the public to speak to as well.
Absolutely.
If there's any of them that would like to say anything. Doesn't look like there are, so at this point, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
So
I think we have a motion and support, so all those in favor will be a thumbs up.
Aye.
And we won't even ask for a thumbs down, so we're adjourned. I thank you all very much. Look forward to seeing you again next time. So thank you very much. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Good to see everyone.
Bye, everybody.